Hey guys, it's Nate, aka TheFutAccountant. Welcome back to the channel. And welcome to a Promo Friday on FC25 once again. We're going to dive into everything that you need to know about Team 2 of the Fantasy FC promo that is dropping today. Of course, we've got leaked SBCs, leaked evolutions, and a big objective that you might have forgotten about that you can get a crazy pack from today if you've been keeping up with it. And of course, we have a whole new team of players, including some team of the season looking cards that are coming out today in this promo team. So we're going to talk about all that, but I have one big question for today. What is EA going to do to make a little bit of hype come back to this Fantasy FC promo? Let's discuss it, guys. If you're excited for the video, drop a thumbs up on it, and of course, subscribe if you are new. Let's go over yesterday's content on Thursday first, because it was a Thursday where we actually had a little bit of decent content. Firstly, in SBCs, we have a fantasy player pick. I've already completed the SBC, so it's not worth looking at in-game. It is a 58,000 coin SBC, guys. It is very, very cheap. And the cards that you get from it, they're pretty cheap looking as well, but they're not bad. Mateta versus Nico Williams from Nottingham Forest. Now, both of these cards are pretty unique. I ended up doing this SBC straight away because I've got tons of 84s and 85s from the pack grind that I'm doing right now, and the 83 times 10s for you guys are probably supplying you with plenty of those as well. So I did this straight away, really cheap, really easy to get done. I went with the Nico Williams because I like his playstyles. I like the chance for him and Forest to get the upgrades, even though they play City, they play United, they play Villa in the next couple of games. They got Ipswich Town in there as well. And of course, with the form that they're in, this is a very unique card. I feel like it's more unique than the Mateta that dropped alongside of it. We just got some crazy evolutions for a bunch of strikers. Now, of course, this one can also fit into evolutions, but again, it's a live card, and with upgrades on the line, we're really leery about upgrading live cards through evolutions because, again, if you put a live card into a stat limit Evo, most of the time you're not getting a boost on that card above whatever the stat limit was, even when the card earns upgrades. So yes, it can get upgrades if you evolve it, but just be very careful with those. It's really confusing and maybe not something to mess with. But I'm with the Nico Williams here because I think that card's pretty unique. I also did Digne yesterday as well. And to be honest, for 58,000 coins, it's a fun one. They're live cards. You might as well rinse some of that extra fodder from 84s or 83s times 10s, the 84s and 85s you get from those into that sort of SBC. No problems with that one at all. We had marquee matchups yesterday as well, but the real content yesterday was in evolutions. We have a new Evo. Guys, the Evos are continuing to carry this game, and it's another paid Evo. It's cheap. It's only 40,000 coins or 300 points, but it's for center midfielders, and it gives 2 playstyle pluses, and it gives some pretty good boosts. Now, again, the stat limits here are maybe just a little bit lower than what we would want, but you're only creating a card that gets capped out at 90 rated, which means it should be evolvable even here in at least the next month as we get into 90 rated cards fitting into Evos, maybe during Foot Birthday, maybe a little bit after that. This is a good Evo though because it gives Power Shot Plus and it gives Quick Step Plus. And especially for a card in this chain who maybe already has, like this Jolinton example here, 1 playstyle plus, the first playstyle plus you get is Quick Step. So a lot of the center midfielders coming out of this evolution are coming out of it with a 5-star weak foot and Quick Step Plus alongside of whatever other playstyle plus they already have. I don't have a ton of great options in my club personally for this Evo. We're going to take a look at a bunch here on Footbin, but this is pretty solid. You're getting a 5-star weak foot, of course, because you're getting +4 on the weak foot. Of course, you're getting a pace boost. You're getting a dribbling boost, I believe, up there to 90. You get attack positioning. You get the cam position added to the card box to box plus at CM. You get a weak foot boost, like I mentioned, passing up to 90, playmaker plus, shadow striker plus, and then first touch and power shot plus at the end for the second playstyle plus, and then even a stamina boost up to 90. And wow, I didn't even notice, it's very few games. Some of you guys might already have this done. Play 2, win 1. That's really, really easy to complete. I absolutely love that. Now, there's some good Evo combos in here, creating some nice cards. Fede Valverde's gold card is one of them, especially if you're using any of those Fantasy FC Cup shooting, passing, or dribbling boosts. You can make him look even better. That's a pretty nuts card right there. This Guti card, I don't think there's a conversation here. This card is not as good as the SBC, but if you don't want to spend all the fodder on the SBC and you have this one, then of course you could go ahead and do it. Bruno Fernandes, James Madison, even the Sunset card from Fantasy Team number 1 fits into this Evo. Again, I would not recommend doing this. He's getting a Player of the Month SBC today as well. I would not recommend Evoing a live card. unless you really want to use that player and get the best version ASAP of him. Mikel Marino, this card looks pretty sick too. One thing I would note with this is give him the skill move boost, because I think he can fit the skill move boost Evo that is out. Maybe it's not going to be out for that much longer. You can make him 4 or 5 on top of this, but look at those stats. That looks pretty good. And one thing I will shout as well, some people are comboing some left backs into this evolution with the Playmaker's Mind Evo, which gives a left back center mid position, and then of course they could fit into the Central to Sensational Evo. I mean, just make sure that the card does not have center defensive mid, because that's one of the key qualifiers to this evolution, is the card cannot have the CDM position. I think that's one of the biggest requirements in here, because I was looking to Evo a Weston McKennie, and in fact, he does not fit because he has CDM. He would have been insane in this evolution, but unfortunately, he is not. Now, this Jolinton is a great example of a card that went crazy, and just like we see normally with good evolutions, guess what's happening? The cards that look the best in them are going up a lot of the market. Take the money on these if you have them in the club for sure. This was the craziest price rise yesterday, hands down. Patrick Vieira's 88 rated card went from 790K all the way up to 1.4 million coins. He's still 1.1 mil right now, so he has gone up literally 300,000 to 400,000 coins because of this evolution. Because this evolution makes him on par, some would say even better than his 90 rated Thunderstruck card that has only better stats in the defense and physical departments, and it does not have a 5-star weak foot like this one does. This one's got 2 playstyle pluses, so it's got people paying a lot of coins to put Vieira into this evolution. So that's the biggest piece of content for yesterday, in my opinion. I think it's a W Evo. I'm going to just sit on it for a bit, see who I want to put into it. But I like it. I like the options that it gives there for a boost. And for 40K, I got no qualms with that. Now, of course, yesterday as well, 12 more games in the Fantasy FC League. This had a lot of people going back out into the friendly mode. And this just occurred to me as I was thinking about it on stream yesterday. It's a crazy weekend for gameplay. By the way, down there in the bottom left, the matches remaining, that timer, it's glitched, it's messed up. That refreshed yesterday, of course. It's not going to refresh again until Monday. We're going to get our last 12 games then. But there's so many games to play this weekend. If you got weekend league games, that's 15, maybe qualifying in there as well, so potentially 20 games, plus 12 of the Fantasy FC League. It's a busy weekend for gameplay here. You can see inside of the match requirements now, they added matchmaking solo, so you cannot do co-op in this mode, of course, shutting down the glitch. And with those matches remaining, you see I have 11. I played 1. I'm 1-0 in this second set of matches. But you cannot stack. If you didn't finish your first 12 matches, you didn't get whatever you had left added on top of the new 12 that were released yesterday. Just as we expected, the matches remaining just refreshed up to 12, or they just kind of like put it back in. They kind of refreshed it, right? It just re-upped. It didn't add on what you maybe had previously done before. So make sure you try to get all your games done this weekend, all next 12 of the games for those friendlies, to try to continue to get closer towards the MyCon if you're going for that. Or if you're like, nah, I got my 4 wins, I got the evolution that's inside of this objective, and I'm done with it, then you're happy and you're done with it as well. But a lot of us are still going to be grinding for the next couple of days here as we get through this set of 12 games, and then on Monday we're going to have another final set of 12 to finish off that final MyCon and pack push there. So good luck with all that this weekend. There's a lot going on with gameplay for sure. Now, last thing I want to talk about, because these cards are going out of packs today. Before we talk about Fantasy Team 2, I want to look at Fantasy Team 1, because yesterday with Division Rivals rewards, these cards got cooked, and way more cooked than I thought that they were going to be. Like, this guy Molly went from 491,000 coins during rewards down to 419. Content came out, that 40,000 coin Evo actually made his price drop a little bit more. He went down to 390. Now he is going back up, and I think these cards are going to be very, very key today to watch for trading opportunities and investing, because as you see here, Caicedo is going up too. These cards are still live, and a lot of people are wanting to invest in them as they know they're going out of packs. I think there's good things to that. I think also there's bad things to that as well. My favorite investments in this team, if you want to make a long-term investment, are Sunset, this Hossein center back card, Petrovic, and who else? Alexandro and Tasangov. It's the fodder ones, guys, because if you look back in years past, the best long-term investments are these cards that get upgraded in terms of their stats, and then they end up going up in price naturally because when an 88 goes to an 89, all of a sudden it goes from being 16,000 coins worth of value up to 23 to 24K, right? That's the hope that you look for with these cards. Now, was the buy time yesterday? Did we miss out? Not really, because let's be honest, 88s are inflated right now. Depending on the SBC content that comes out today, maybe the lack of SBC content, I could see even maybe after Sunday, depending on what icon player pick comes out, maybe gets refreshed or whatever, because the icon player pick, if you look all the way back to last week, is what made some of these cards go up a good bit. Now, to be fair, and I'm looking at her card in general, but 88s in general are up a good bit right now because of the icon pick from last week. I think they were 14,000 coins, and then they really started to go up, as you can see right here, once the icon pick came out during the week this week. So I could see her card coming down. I could see cards like Alexandro Tasankov and even Babajide coming down a little bit on the market this weekend. But I just wanted to mention those are my favorite longer-term investments. I'm talking 3-4 weeks down the line. That's when you would hope to see all the upgrades checked off. Maybe fodder is still at a decent price then. Maybe it goes up during Foot Birthday. Those cards even go higher. It's kind of like the less risky, but still a little bit of risk because you still need them to achieve their upgrades for them to get the upgrades, but less risky than buying a card, say, like Shoameni. A lot of the more expensive fantasy cards don't end up panning out long-term in terms of investments, but short-term, they can be very good. And that's one thing I want to mention as we finish off talking about these cards is if these cards drop even more today, there's a really good opportunity still because they are live and they have games upcoming and people are going to buy into the hype and hope for their prices to go up because their clubs will be representing them and potentially getting them upgrades. There's still a good short-term potential here. If the content today is not good, definitely keep an eye out for some of these players, some of the heroes, some of the regular fantasy FC cards, because their card prices could be going up if content's not good, because these are live cards. People love to invest, and they'll love to gamble on the fact that these cards have potential upgrades still left there. I still have the Vialis that I bought yesterday. Kind of a poor time to buy from me. I got one lazy sale here for 367,000 coins, so I made a lot of coins on that one card. I bought a Joe Cole for 120. I still have some of those investments, but I'm not really looking to sell them right now. I'm going to hopefully ride these up a little bit further in price today. We'll see, but we are getting a striker SBC, we think, today, and that might hurt that card. Now, without further ado, let's talk about the market a little bit more later. Let's take a look at Fantasy FC Team number 2 that is going to be coming out today. That's the biggest news, because another reason why I think Fantasy FC Team 1 might go up is I think these Team 2 cards that come out today are going to be pretty expensive because who's opening packs today? Let's be honest. I don't think a ton of people are going to be opening packs, saved up packs per se, for the promo today. You probably don't think to save unless there's a favorite player for you that you've seen in the leagues, but usually Team 2s don't have the same pack supply as a Team 1. I'd be surprised if that was to be different today. This is the official Team 2 with all of the official stats for players that are coming out today, and there are some crazy ones in here, guys. Let's be completely honest. This Marcus Rashford card is unbelievable. That Rodrigo card as well, unbelievable. Zé Roberto, crazy. Even Mario Gomez looks pretty fun. Alphonso Davies looks pretty good. Pharrell Williams, her card looks really good there as well with power shot and pinged with 94 shooting, 94 passing. Even some of the lower to mid-tier players in here, Cucho Hernandez, Betis. If that's actually 90 physical, that's a really insane card. I think Pavard has a chance of being very overpowered. I used his gold card in the beginning of the game. Even with a lack of playstyles, he was good. Tim Howard, new card. There's the Darwin Nunez. He's got finesse and rapid plus with 94 pace and 90 physical, only 85 dribbling. Robbie Keane. There's a lot of really good, like mid to top tier strikers in this team. Robbie Keane, Rodrigo, Rashford, they all look insane. Mario Gomez too. Carragher is getting in the promo team here. His card a little underwhelming to me. Walsh, didn't know she transferred to Chelsea. 93 passing, 93 defense with 88 physical as a CDM. That even looks like a pretty sick card. Littmanen looks usable. 92 shooting, 90 pass and dribble. And then to the bottom line here, again, some more usable cards. I don't know if I would say that this Team 2 is better than Team 1. I think Team 1 has more heavy hitters with the Hazard, with the Son, the Chouameni, the Marmouche, right? With those transfers there. There's some hype there for sure with those cards. But maybe this team has a better middle tier cards that would be hopefully 500k and below especially a guy like Matistel. He might not be 500K, but he looks really insane for an 89 rated card. But since he's lower rated, hopefully that means he's a bit more packable. Keegan Nazareth here, women's Barca team. She looks pretty good with great playstyle pluses. Zaniolo, great Serie A insane Serie A midfielder. We'll see what other positions that he has. Salamakers from Roma looks like a good card. Of course, Fermin from the men's Barca team, only one playstyle plus. But still a card that a lot of people are going to want to use. And then, of course, you have a couple of other cards in here that are looking like a little bit of fodder. But again, a decent team. Like, there's a couple cards in here that I would absolutely love to pack. The Robbie Keane, for sure. What a card he is. Like, even the Nunez looks good, of course. The Cucho Hernandez, the Pavard. Plenty of items in here that look really, really interesting. And evidently, there's a couple more players, too. Conor Gallagher, Feller, Brand, Teate, and Agurd are all leaked to be added on to this team, which means it might be a bigger team of FC Fantasy than team number 1 that we saw. So, I think overall it looks like a good promo side today, but I'm not going to expect the pack weight to be better. I think these cards, the new ones, are going to be very expensive. Even if you remember back to last week with Team 1 of Fantasy, these cards were really, really expensive too, and they're all live, so that's another thing that makes them a bit more inflated in terms of the price. Now, one thing I want to mention with the cards that are coming out today is the games that have already been played for like Malen and even like Guti for Real Madrid and for Villa. Those games do not count for Rodrigo and Rashford. On EA's site, it says that once the card comes into the game, the date that the card comes into the game, that is when that specific card is live. So Rashford, Rodrigo, those games that were played earlier last week do not count. None of these cards have games on their upgrade slate already, if you will. Wanted to make that very clear to you guys today because I know it's going to be a very popular question. You might think, Nate, I can buy one or two of these players because they've already got upgrades coming to them. Nope, no games have counted so far for them. Now, speaking of these cards in packs, we're going to look at this tweet specifically right here a little bit today, but a lot in the future because EA dropped a whole bunch of packs into the code. It's going to impact the game today with one specific mention, but it's going to impact the future of this game even more. But I want to start with what's going to be happening most likely today or pretty soon. Remember how we have the For You pack section in the store? We haven't seen a lot going on there recently. That was a thing that we saw more action in. There was a couple promos earlier in the year where EA dropped For You packs, and it actually made some impact to the market. Well, we haven't seen that in a while, but they've just added a new pack to the code that looks like it's going to go in that section. The Today and Tomorrow Player Pick pack. You're seeing this pack because you've entered Ultimate Team on at least 100 days. It includes an Encore Player Pick from Team of the Year icons or future star icons. Yes, you were hearing that correctly. It is an untradeable player pick of either a Team of the Year icon player or a future stars icon, one of two. Those are some pretty crazy icon choices there. You think about guys like Charlton, Eto in future stars, and then of course the Team of the Year icons are pretty crazy as well. Of course, with the big names, yeah, all I can think of right now is Roberto Carlos and Pele. But like, I think this is going to be an expensive pack in the store. It's a pick. It's called a pack. I think it's going to be expensive. That For You pack section has notoriously brought some interesting cheap packs like 10 coin and 30 coin packs, but it also has brought some expensive ones. I think that is a interesting enough pack to mention though, because that seems pretty crazy, and it could impact the market today. If it's not more than like, honestly, that pack could be 500,000 coins, let's be honest, because those icons are expensive. But if it's cheaper than that, and let's say, I don't know, let's say it's somehow glitched or something like that, you know, I could just see something small like that end up being something that ends up being a big deal. So I wanted to mention it because it was added to the code. It might not even be today, but that's something to watch for today in the For You pack section. A lot of the other packs that they added in here are most likely going to be related to the new season that is coming in 2 weeks. We're still 13 days away technically from the new season, but EA actually kind of leaked with this. A couple new promo cards here. Immortals. We'll talk about that a lot in the future. There's a Dream Chasers promo. Never heard of Immortals, Icons, or Heroes, or Dream Chasers, but those are allegedly promos in the future, as are Foot Birthday. Of course, we would expect that. But most of these packs that you see in here are related to future promos where it's not really relative right now. 89 plus Fantasy Guarantee pack. I think that is, of course, related to this current promo right now with Fantasy Team 2. But I wanted to kind of show you this because, again, I have this tweet bookmarked because we're going to be talking about these packs in the weeks to come as we get closer and closer to some of these promos that are being discussed. But back to fantasy, what else are we getting today? What else, especially in terms of the other content? Of course, we're not expecting to pack promo cards. Like, That's not something we log into the game and expect most times on this game. Let's talk about SBCs. It's Friday. That means Player of the Month, right? Yeah, Player of the Month coming in today. Well, one specific one. Mbappe's SBC is going away. Say goodbye to 23 squads, and the SBC that made 91 rated cards go from 30,000 coins up to 90,000 coins for a short amount of time. He's going away, and Sunset's going to be replacing him. That's probably the first SBC we'll see today, maybe an hour before content. Definitely looking for that one. I don't think Sunset's going to be that crazy. I think his fantasy card maybe takes a little bit of a drop in price, but that could even be a good opportunity to invest again because that one's still live and it's looking good for the upgrades. But let's take a look at the other SBC who we mentioned in yesterday's video, Kolo Muani. Now, still have questions. What's the official card for him? We do not know yet. If it is this good, according to this stat little post right here that we looked at yesterday, I believe this is predicted. But if it's that good, that would be pretty crazy. That would be a really interesting card for those who had not already evolved him. But the price is going to be the thing. Last week on Friday, we had just 2 player SBCs. I mean, just 2. That's pretty decent, to be honest. But we had the Guti, who was a hero, and we had the Joao Felix. And right now, it's not looking good for Joao Felix because of the way Milan played yesterday, or at least the score that I saw. It was not looking good for him for scoring goals or getting wins. But Guti was good value, and Joao Felix was overpriced. I really hope that Kolo Muani today is not overpriced because this could be a fun card, even though he does have the Evos like we talked about in yesterday's video. Not everybody's done those Evos, and this SBC still could be interesting if it is a decent price. I hope it's around 500,000 coins. I hope he's got either a 5-star skills or a 5-star weak foot. Could be a fun one. Now, my question is, what other SBC are we going to get today? Are we going to get a hero as well? There's a couple other SBC names that have been leaked that we probably should talk about. I think the Kolo Muani is kind of a for certain SBC coming today, but we don't really know who the hero is going to be. We had that expectation set for us since we had Guti last week. Watch out for more leaks related to today's SBC players. But there are some other names for SBCs that might be coming on the weekend, even during the next week of content, including the Rafinha that we talked about in yesterday's video. This is his official card, Rapid and Tiki Taka Plus with 96 pace and 93 dribble. It's a World Tour card. Really interesting. He says coming via SBC or objective. To me, this has to be an SBC. I don't know. It could be an objective, but we already have World Tour Brazilian objective cards. I don't know if this is coming today or if it's coming during the weekend. That's an interesting SBC to say the least. Another Rafinha special card. He's had a lot of Evos this year. Of course, he had the SBC a couple months back that was very popular as well. But that's a name that's floating around out there. He could be pretty good. Something to kind of keep an eye on. And then, of course, this league, I think, is interesting for the names. Ashley Cole is coming as an on this day icon, one of 2. We'll look at the second here in a second. Ashley Cole had a lot of hype this year, and I know that we've just had a bunch of left backs, right? We had the Mendy SBC, we had the Evo for left backs. Now we're getting an Ashley Cole. We had the Luca Digne as well. Ashley Cole's Thunderstruck card, however, if you guys remember, was touted as a very good card earlier on in the year. I think I used him for like 1 or 2 games. He's still, I think, like 100,000 coins for this card right here, somewhere around 100K, and he's always pretty good in game. He's going to keep the Jockey Plus, and he's going to get Relentless Plus. It kind of depends for me what the rest of the card looks like in terms of the play styles, but this is something that I would imagine would drop on like a Saturday or a Sunday, but it is coming. Another icon left back here, English icon left back with good links, of course, as he is an icon, but it's an on this day version, so it'll probably be an SBC. Just something to kind of keep a watch out for. Same thing with Dennis Bergkamp. He's coming as an on this day icon SBC as well. Those are his official stats with 92 shooting and 90 dribbling. Finesse Plus is pretty cool. If they were to give him 5-star skills and make it cheap, that could be good as well. That's what it comes down to, I think, with these cards as well. Just like we talked about with Kolo Muani, comes down to the price. But I wouldn't anticipate getting either of those SBCs today. I think it's going to just be Kolo Muani and then a hero. I could be surprised. So we're going to keep tabs on those leaks as we had throughout the weekend. But let's talk about evolutions, right? We covered SBCs. What could we be getting in evolutions today? Because we've had literally this part of the game carrying content, as we mentioned, for the last number of days, even the last like week or 2 on this game. Strategic Shift is going away. Make sure if you want to do this one, put somebody in it before the content drop today. It gives long ball pass plus, and it gives the center defensive mid position there. Decent Evo. I might skip it. We'll see. Evo leaks are a bit all over the place. Firstly, I want to mention this leak here from ASY. He's, of course, one of our reliable leakers. We've already looked at some of his leaks that we've seen so far. He quote tweeted his tweet from last week when he leaked that we had the Fantasy FC shooting, passing, and dribbling Evos. Some of the 3 best Evos that we had with all the cups that came out and all the league stuff and the rewards with that, but just how they were so good for boosting stats without boosting the overall rating. We love those Evos. He said, did you enjoy the first week? What is coming next with 2 flexed biceps? Does that mean that EA, since they dropped shooting, passing, and dribbling, are they going to drop pace, defense, and physical as well for individual stat boost Evos? That would be awesome. A pace one would be so good. Defense and physical would be amazing. Think about a center back Evo that you could put pace, defense, and physical on. That would be fantastic. Now, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves in believing that. That would be the perfect scenario. But with the flexed bicep, it literally seems to me like there's going to be a bruiser plus or some sort of physical Evo boost. He's probably going to leak more about this today. So that's really interesting. I don't know if those Evos are going to be like game-changing ones, like for a Friday big promo drop release, but that's something that I'm looking forward to get more information on too. There are some other Evo leaks outstanding. FutAccountant tweeted this a couple days ago about an evolution that was going to be coming that is max 87 and it gives all stat boosts. Now, this was not the Evo that was dropped yesterday, of course, because the new Evo that we just had and talked about is max 88 and it's only for center mids. This one seems like it's max 87 and you can't have any individual stats at above 90, because some of the other cards, well, except for Lino here, has 91 dribbling, but some of the other replies to this tweet below, he was saying that if a card has 90 pace or 90 physical, then it does fit, but 91 physical or pace does not. And he says that it's an all-around boost with high rating caps, and in my opinion, that might mean another paid Evo if it's going to be higher capped. It's going to be higher stats like that. If it's going to allow in 87 rated to have 90 rated stats on the card, find that really, really interesting. So that's unknown as to what it could be. There's already some cards that have gone up on the market that are 87 rated. Like Yaya Toure was one yesterday whose price went up like crazy, but then came crashing back down because people are like, oh, that's Evo's coming today. And then it didn't. Boom. Back down to 300,000 coins. Just keep an eye on some of your 87 rateds for this. If it's a really good Evo, if it's really maybe regardless of how good the boost is, but if it's expensive, if it's another paid evolution that could drain coins, I mean, usually they don't have more than 4 or 5 paid Evos out at the same time. So that's me hoping that it's going to be free. We'll see. But again, Evos have been carrying content. I think I have the most hope for this Evo to be decent today out of all the other content. If EA is going to do something special, hopefully it is with that. So I wanted to mention that to you guys. Watch out for more leaks. As we always talk about, the leak landscape on Fridays is crazy. There's always a lot of stuff going on in terms of leaks. And I have to mention with Evos as well, there was rumors of a center back Evo that was potentially going to come out soon too. So you still have some 87 rated center backs that people have been investing in, like William Saliba's base card, who's still 18 and 19K. He was like 14 to 15K last week. Now he's up to 18,000 coins. That's another card that if we were to get a center back Evo, he would be a very interesting one to keep an eye on. Now, last thing content-wise today that we need to discuss is objectives. You're like, Nate, what in the world are they going to drop in objectives? We have all this cup stuff already. Have you forgotten about the Season 5 weekly play? Now, I'm a week behind, but if you're not, if you've been playing, today is the day where you could get the 5th completion, get a guaranteed fantasy pack, and most importantly, the overall group reward, which is the 90 plus times 4 Future Star Greats, Grassroots Greats, or Fantasy FC. Guys, this includes icons and heroes. I went back and looked at the pack code. Unless EA changes it today before content, this includes Grassroots Greats icons. It includes Future Stars icons, and the Fantasy FC heroes as well would be involved in this 90 plus times 4. That pack's pretty crazy. If any of you guys have it today, I'm super down to open it in the stream just to see what it's like. I feel like the objective packs right now, like level 40, that icon pick, which I'm still trying to get to. I'm level 31, almost 32 at the moment. That's got a lot of hype. I think that pack today is going to have a lot of hype as well. So we'll be looking forward to opening those. Lastly, I want to leave you with some more market thoughts. Friday nights, what do we always talk about? We've kind of coined the phrase over here on this YouTube channel, the Friday night bubble, if you will. it's been happening every single Friday, and I think it's going to happen again tonight. Watch out-of-pack special cards. Watch some of these players that you think people are going to be buying for their weekend league teams. Watch the fantasy cards, as I'm still here listing the Viales that I bought at 280, 290,000 coins when they were great prices at that very moment in time, and now they're not, of course, because those cards went down a lot more than I expected them to with division rivals rewards. But keep an eye on those cards. Keep an eye on other out-of-pack specials, like maybe some of the Cub players, like Marcus Llorente, who I bought yesterday for 140, 145, sold all mine for 159. He's 142 at the moment, but I'm not looking to invest there. You know, Amad Diallo, this is a card that I love to trade as a future star. He goes from low 600s to high 600s like all the time. I'm going to try an Endrick flip. I know that we're getting Rodrigo today, but Endrick I just picked him up for 1.2 flat. I think the Friday night market bubble is still going to be evident today. Depending on what happens after content, sure, there could be a drop if we have a sick Evo, but just remember that still people are going to be going out, playing Weekend League, playing the League Cup, and they're going to need players for those teams. So absolutely be active on the market today. There should be great opportunities. Whoa, Drogba's back up. Yeah, wow, he was 1 million coins. He was 1 million coins, 1.06 yesterday. Now he's 1.29. Sheesh. That's a crazy rise there. Baggio's up a good bit too. Foudy's up a good bit. Market did really well yesterday after division rivals rewards, and I think that's going to mean some even higher prices tonight, especially dependent upon how the content is. Paid Evos usually do drop prices, but if the SBC is not great, and even if the Evo is not great, basically bad or mid content equals W market. So that's one thing that I would like to point out to you guys too. It still could be a good time to trade and a good time to make some of those coins back on this game. In terms of getting the coins built up, maybe you spent 500K on the Maradona Evo. Maybe you're spending other coins on Evos right now too, and you want to try to get your coins up. Make sure today you take that opportunity to make some coins. Last thing I will shout to, since we're here in Evolutions, if you're interested in using points to cover the cost of these Evos, use my link down in the description. It supports me directly with the new creator code system that EA is putting up there. And you can even buy them on console as well. If you use the link and you go in and you purchase something there for the next 7 days, anything that you do purchase, if you go for more, will count as well. So just mention that because they're updating this thing all the time and it's kind of hard to stay on top of. But it seems like EA is at least halfway interested in supporting creators in that way. So I think that's cool at least. You may not, but I'd rather share that with you guys than not share it at all. So that's the promo news and everything to look forward to today with Fantasy FCT number 2. We'll see if EA drop any surprises. Maybe it'll be the Evo. Maybe it'll be the SBC. Maybe there'll be some sort of glitch. There hasn't been an EA compensation mistake in a while. We're due, honestly. Look out for something like that today, too. There's usually some mistakes that happen once we get into the month of March in previous years. But that's the video for me. Have a great Friday. Enjoy the day today. Check out the streams. We'll be live here on YouTube and on Twitch as well. And all my other links down in the description. Make sure to check us out there. Love you guys. Have a great Friday. It's been TheFutAccountant, and I will see you guys later. Peace.